Hi, I'm Jason Bryan from the Short-Time Wrestling Podcast and founder of the Mat Talk Podcast Network. Shows on the network are individually owned and operated, and those opinions presented and expressed may not reflect others, the sponsors, patrons, or the parent network. Find more shows about the greatest sport in the world at the Mat Talk Podcast Network at mattalkonline.com.
The mind of Pat Popolizio is a wondrous thing. And for you Pack wrestling fans, you'll get to go inside the mind of the Skip each and every episode here on the PackMentality Pop-Ins Podcast. Now, here's your host, NC State Director of Athletics Digital Communications, Brian Reinhardt.
All right, Wolfpack fans, ACC action is heating up, and we are back with a brand new episode of the PackMentality Pop-Ins Podcast, episode number 74 for those tracking at home. I'm your host, NC State Director of Athletics Digital Communications, Brian Reinhardt, and sitting with me in my office away from the office out of his office, the head coach, Pat Popolizio.
Good early, or I should say late morning to you, Brian.
It's not morning for me. I've been up for a while. I've been trying to track you down for a while.
Well, you know where we were at. We've been in that room up until now.
I was going to say, your mornings now consist some different shifts. Almost two crews are going in the room. How's it feel back to be in the room? You guys were in Carmichael for a while, but now back here up at WB. Feels
good. Good energy in there. You got the heat back on in that room. That room, for some reason, always stays a little warmer. So that's good. Good intensity and the history that goes into that room. I think it was good to be back in there.
Okay. It's good to see you guys back in there. Yeah. You took the tape off the doors. I apprcied that.
Yep, no problem.
I can see what's going on in there now.
The tape's been on for about 10 months. Just want to clarify that with you. So,
you guys started ACC action up at UVA, came away 23-9. Quick takeaways.
I thought there was good wrestling on both sides. I think, but you had two teams really wrestling really hard. We got pushed in a lot of matches, and we needed that right now because the competition is very limited. So it was good to get tested, and I like the way some of the guys responded. Obviously, we let some matches get away from us, and we elected to give Ryan Jack a shot at 33 to see what we had and what we needed to work on. It's a little different when you're wrestling in, round robin or in the room. So I wanted to see real live dual meet competition, and it was a good reality check that we got to get better and work on some things there. And then, let's see, 41.
Go up to 49, Ed Scott.
Yeah.
Big major decision.
That was what we were looking for out of Ed. That was a match in the past where 49 has been a weight we were looking to have a little more focus and intensity. And now that Ed's in there, I'm seeing that more and more. And the aggressive style of wrestling that we want and being good on top. He's all of that. And he just needs time. And I think a match like that, you're going to grow a lot of confidence. There's really not a ton of competitions this year to test things and get ready. So, it's good that he's getting matches like that right now. And then, 65, we just got to be more solid in our wrestling. And what I like with Bullard is I think with time, more matches, he'll get a little more comfortable. He's dangerous. He can beat anybody any given time in the country, and we'll let that play out. But we know we're making a lot of mistakes in those matches, and we can fix that and capitalize on that. And then 97, I like the fight we had out of Renan, and it's going to take him a match or two, a little more to get a little more confident in his body. And I think we saw that as the match went on. He gets away on bottom. Would have liked to see that match play out a little more. But he got tested, a really good kid, one of the top kids in the country, and didn't give up any takedowns, didn't get any. And it came down to mat wrestling. And, obviously that's not an advantage for someone like Reno, who's really good on his feet. So we got to get off bottom and know that we can score when we need to.
Skip guy, 84, season debut.
That's
but
right.
Fans might not know, he really didn't practice that much before that match.
No, and give Trent credit how tough he is as a person. He's missed basically a few weeks of training, and he probably wasn't conditioning-wise ready for a match like that, but I think he's experienced enough to know how to control matches and capitalize when someone comes out of position. So that was big on his part. And it brings a lot of good energy when he's back in the lineup. You know, his focus, intensity, and confidence that he instills in this team doesn't go unnoticed. So it was nice to have him in there, and it makes a difference down the road. And he's got that match under his belt, good week of training going into Friday night, and another good matchup for him.
Yeah, don't jump ahead too far here.
Yeah, I won't. I'll let you get to that.
Appreciate that. One thing I did notice, we're doing these in a lot of duels now, extra matches after these. Those were really intense this time. The whole team stayed up there, coaching staff up there. How important is it for you guys to see some of these guys that might not be in your starting lineup now get these matches and just the environment that it was Friday up at UVA?
Yeah, I love it. I wish and I hope this is something we can continue to do moving forward. It doesn't need to be, you know, side by side, same time, but maybe it's the next day or whatever we can do to have these guys in a healthy environment to, one, be under our leadership when we're traveling, understand the system, and then to have healthy competition where maybe they're not driving the night before, wrestling all day, and then got to drive back home in an open tournament. You know, this is all in our control. It's all good quality competition, and it's going to get these guys more prepared than ever. So, yeah, we need them right now. The more we can do, we're willing to take as many guys as we're allowed to on the road to get our matches. And, you know, obviously any team that we're wrestling against, we want to be able to put as many matches in before or after as we can.
I think one thing I noticed you guys talked about afterwards, the COVID issues. NC State men's basketball, NC State women's basketball, they've been on pause right now. I know you guys talk to your guys constantly about doing the right thing, but you just kind of never know. So how do you think the guys have adapted, knowing what else has gone on here at NC State in particular?
They've, and I got to give this team credit. They've bought in. They have the discipline. That's one thing I love about the guys we recruited here, is they have the discipline to do what needs to be done to get through this year. And it, again, this doesn't just go to your starters. This is every single guy on roster, 35 guys, and every one of them has to be on board. And I know they are, because we did some random stop-bys late at night a couple times, and those guys are sound asleep in their houses. So I give them credit, and I appreciate their willingness to really focus in on this. And we really got to get through the next 6 to 8 weeks. And then, you know, hopefully things do start to clear up as far as the vaccines and everything that's going on. And it's been a challenge. Give credit due to our medical staff, Rob Murphy and Will Conlon. Those guys have been rock stars for us, and keeping guys focused in the testing and traveling with us and really helping us manage this behind the scenes. So there's a lot that goes into it, and we're just thankful we're in position to compete. 3
straight ACC matches coming up here against top 15 foes. 3 straight weeks NC State will be on TV on the ACC network. Can't have fans in Reynolds. Limited fans on the road too. How big is it that ACC network is putting you guys on 3 straight Friday nights here?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I you know, that speaks to the level these guys are competing at, and the history that they've built the program up to, where people want to watch them wrestle. And I do think we have a really fun team that will go out and attack and put points on the board, which makes it exciting when you're watching wrestling. And the fact that we get to match up with really good teams always makes for a good, intense dual meet. It might not be as loud and crazy with the noise in there, but I can promise you the intensity will still be the same no matter, you know, who's coming in or where we're going. We got really good wrestling right now in the ACC.
This point was also brought up after the UVA duel. NC State, 20th straight dual wins, leads the nation. Last team to beat you, Pitt, in Reynolds 2 years ago.
Yeah, we know that. The guys know that, and that's something they know that they got to be ready to go with a team like Pitt. They're good. They're well coached. They got tough kids, and that's a test we need to be ready for. And trust me, the guys do know that was a loss that they regret going through it, but it made us better. It made us refocus. And if it wasn't for that, who knows, you know, what the success you have moving forward. And everyone needs a wake up call in every sport. And we definitely got it that night, and we got beat. We got out wrestled, and we learned from it.
Pitt's coming to Reynolds Coliseum this Friday night, 6:00, ACC Network. 5 ranked guys, 3 in the top 10, 2 in the top 5. Obviously, they're a top 15 team. You said they wrestle so well. Let's go 133. Number 4 guy, 2-time ACC champion Filippi. Trombley, how did he adjust not wrestling against Virginia, but knowing he has a top 5 guy this weekend?
Yeah, we talked about it before the match that we wanted to try out and see what Ryan Jack, with a limited year, I don't have a whole lot of opportunities to get guys and see if someone's ready or not. So that was a good time to do it. We learned that, we got some work to do, and Trombley's more experienced, and it's hard to go off of wrestle-offs. You want to give everyone a little bit of foundation and then have a wrestle-off. But right now, Trombley's shown that he's got the experience and knows what he needs to do to win at an elite level.
141, Tariq Wilson, number 14, Matthews. Matthews wrestles Tariq probably as good as anybody in this conference. That's going to be a great battle there, number 11 against number 14.
Definitely. Fireworks always when those two wrestle. I mean, it's been 1 year. I think they got to meet each other 3 times, maybe.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. They've wrestled.
Let's go with that.
All right. Well, every time it is a barn burner. I think, that last match they wrestled was wild and crazy. Tariq had a big lead and then gets hit with a cement mixer. I think he was down, and then Tariq stands up. And the kid, did seem like he did the right thing, but the ref, walking someone out of bounds can leave you vulnerable for a stall call, which put Tariq up, and it got wild. So I have a feeling you're going to see some good wrestling and some crazy scrambles and a fun match.
You mentioned 65, Thomas Bullard. He's got number 7, Wenzel. No better way to end a losing streak or coming off a bad loss than to get a top 10 win, and Wenzel's number 7.
Yeah, we need that match. Thomas needs that match. He needs to be ready to wrestle. Kid's tough, really good on top. They've had a little bit of history with each other. I don't know what the series is at, but I know they've both beaten each other. So that's one on paper that can go either way. Obviously, they had the advantage with the success that he's had recently. So no better way for Thomas to get things rolling in the right direction than a win on Friday night against a top elite guy like that.
You mentioned him up at 97, Rick Neenan.
Yeah, I like that.
Man,
that's good. He's going to get you for that. There's no edit button for that. Hold on. Let's hit the edit button.
He doesn't listen.
All right, go ahead. Say that again.
He doesn't listen to the podcast. Nick Reenan.
Rick Reenan.
Change your Twitter name, please. Up at 97, second straight top 5 foe. Bonacorsi's moving up from 84 to 97. Yep. You guys are very familiar with Bonacorsi. Reenan, like as you said, very good against Aiello, just didn't get the points he needed. How much did he come away with confidence after that? You never want to lose, but what is his confidence level right now?
It looks good. It's the best I've seen him in practice probably from the last 2 years. Just his intensity, his focus, his fight, and not, a lot of times when you're coming off an injury, you're stopping, you're questioning what you're doing, and there's none of that right now. And it's the old, I'll say Rick Reenan, but Nick Reenan. It's the old Nick. And we just need a little more time here, couple more matches, and I feel confident going into the conference tournament and NCAAs. He'll be wrestling real solid, really good, enough to where he can make a run and accomplish his goals this year.
With Pitt flying down, has there been any talk or any plans for extra matches?
Not yet. Still got to get some of that mapped out. I'm trying to get some communication and hopefully get some matches that we can get lined up. I know it's tough when you're flying and whatnot, so we'll just have to wait and see.
All right, Pat. Friday night, Reynolds Coliseum, NC State, Pitt. Great matchups every year. 6 o'clock, ACC Network. Fans, tune in. Get you ahead here on this. Guest this week, freshman Ed Scott on the podcast. Everybody, he's starting to make his name known a little bit more, but just talk about, as a true freshman, kind of stepping in this lineup and how he's performed thus far.
He's done a phenomenal job. When he's known for his work ethic, his attitude, his background growing up, and how committed he is to the sport. He comes from a wrestling family. His dad coached him, and he's come from one of the best clubs in the country, Young Guns. So there's an M2. So he's kind of had a mixture between clubs with some elite coaching, and he just knows what you need to do at this level to win right away. It's not an easy task for a true freshman to be that ready, but I think it worked out real well this year, having the option to come out and start. The plan was to redshirt, get a little bigger, but where we were at 149 and needing an upgrade with just some good energy there, it fell right into place for a guy like Ed to come here, have a good training partner with Tariq and Hayden. And and really be just that good energy we needed at 49 right now in our lineup. And when the whistle blows, you know that he's going to be wrestling hard for 7 minutes. He'll leave it on the line. And, true freshman's going to make mistakes. We know that. But I'll take that any day over a kid that's wrestling really hard. And a lot of times it does. It might wear a guy out. And I think you saw a little bit of that play out last Friday. He was able to score a lot of points because the pace that he wrestled, it's hard to stop that. And he came here because he wants to win national title as a team and as an individual. And I think you're going to see that out of Ed Scott down the road. He's going to compete to win a national title.
Ed still doesn't know it's Hidley, by the way.
Yeah, he's learning. Let him wrestle with Hayden a little more and he'll figure it out.
Pat, always great. Always appreciate you on the podcast. You're doing a lot of media this week, so this is my dream just to hear you more.
Yeah, same. It goes both ways. You got the voice for the radio.
Appreciate it, Pat. Stay tuned for our featured interview with freshman Ed Scott. Before we hear from freshman Ed Scott, I wanted to take a quick break and thank all of the many Wolfpack fans that continue to support the NC State wrestling program behind the scenes. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at PackWrestle for all the latest updates and scores from each and every duel. You can also see a behind-the-scenes look at the team on Instagram at Wolfpack Wrestling. And of course, thank you for listening to our podcasts. We're now in our 4th season. Please subscribe on all of your favorite podcasting platforms. Just search #PackMentality. And one more plug before we get to that Ed Scott interview. The Wolfpack Wrestling Club is now on Rokfin. You can sign up for a free account, and if you subscribe to the Wolfpack Wrestling Club's channel, you will have access to all the premium content on Rokfin. Visit rokfin.com/WolfpackWC to support the RTC, and you can even leave a tip to help the club. Joining us now on the PackMentality Pop-Ins Podcast, we have freshman Ed Scott. Ed, got you right after practice. First day of classes here at NC State. Thanks for joining us on the podcast this week.
You're welcome. I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
You're the first freshman to come on the podcast. Breaking ground here. Whirlwind tour for you as a freshman year. How are things going right now?
I'm really excited to just be part of the team and, actually get to go out beside people like Hayden and Trent and Jake Camacho and just share that experience with them and learn from them. I think it's great.
I was going to say, very fast season here. No tournaments, ran into duels. You already had one ACC match, real barn burner coming up now with all these ranked teams. How excited are you now moving forward?
I'm excited. I mean, to me, I have nothing to lose and I have just opportunities to get better and just move up in the rankings. So I'm really excited to just go out there and put it all on the line.
Now, you had a lot of accolades coming in, obviously, but now people are seeing your results in college, maybe more of a target on your back. Has your mindset adjusted at all? Or are you just kind of, like you said, wrestling a little more free and just going out there and having fun?
I don't think my mindset has adjusted at all. I think that my mindset has always been attack, and just go out there and try to dominate people. And that's what I'm trying to do no matter who's out on the mat. So, yeah.
So we'll get you back to that college season, going back to high school, where you came from, DuBois, Pennsylvania. Tell us where that is.
It's central PA, about an hour west of State College. Really nothing there. It's a pretty small town. I had to travel a lot to practice to get better. So, it was definitely a weird place to grow up to get really good at wrestling, but I think it's cool because I have a pretty big name there now.
So middle of the state of Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh or Philadelphia fan?
Pittsburgh all day.
All right. See, I'm a Pittsburgh. I grew up in Pittsburgh too, so good for you. So Hidley's, they're Philadelphia, so some competition there.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't take sports too seriously, especially professional sports. I'm more worried about what I'm doing as an athlete than anything else.
Well, that kind of transitions into this next one. How did you find NC State? What made NC State the right fit for you?
So I found NC State because I knew the Hidleys came here or the Hidleys came here. And I just think that, and the coaches reached out to me, and that was a really big part of it. The coaches showed interest in me even before I won a state title, even before I got all the accolades that I had at the high school level. The coaches were interested in me and they wanted me, and that was a really big part of it, and they believed in me. And I think that belief from your coaches and belief in yourself is a really big part of it. So
I was going to say the communication starts early and all that. And like you said, even before your state titles. So you're being recruited, these guys are calling you. But what is it when you first step onto campus here? Like when you visit, how did you know NC State was a good fit for you?
It's not the campus, it's the people on the campus. I think everybody's a really good person. Everybody's super nice. The wrestling team, especially, they're very like focused, very dedicated people. And I just find that that's really good to be around. So, yeah.
I was going to say a little bit different times, obviously. Wrestling, you guys have been a unit so much. Maybe you haven't seen too many outside people. So we're here in the spring semester. Are you excited to go to a class?
So I don't know if I'm actually going to get to go to an in-person class or not. I'm supposed to have one hybrid one, but right now the first 2 weeks are online for some reason. So,
oh, shoot, I didn't even know that. So I'm glad you told me that now. That ruins it. But what kind of major are you looking at? Is it too early? What do you enjoy class-wise?
I think I'm going to go into business finance. That's my plan right now. Yeah.
Own your own business as an adult? Is that where you see yourself?
I either see myself doing that or coaching wrestling somewhere.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right, we'll get into wrestling. You're at 149 right now. Might have not been the plan when you thought you were coming here, but a lot has changed for a year and all that. Where did you think you would be right now if this would have been a normal season?
If this was a normal season, I think I would have been redshirting and just wrestling 57 at like open tournaments and stuff like that. But since I got that extra year and it's a short season, I mean, me and Coach Pop talked and we said, why not, just go down to 49 and give it my all. So
how is the weight cut to 49?
It's not too bad. I mean, it could be worse, could be better, I mean, I just have to be really dedicated, which doesn't bother me because I usually am anyways, but yeah.
So deciding to go down to 49, obviously there's a lot of competition for that spot. How did that help you in the preseason, knowing that there were 4 or 5 guys competing for that spot?
I mean, I just didn't really look at it as like downside to going down to 49 and wrestling for the spot. I just looked at it as like I have an opportunity to prove myself before the season even starts. And so I went in and I wrestled the wrestle-offs and I did well. I mean, I think I could have even wrestled better in the wrestle-offs, to be honest, but that's all right. I mean, I got the spot and now I'm here just trying to make a difference for the team.
4 matches under your belt very early, but have you seen differences between high school and college wrestling?
I'd say the biggest difference that I see between high school and college wrestling is my self-growth. Like, I've grown so much as a wrestler from the time I was a senior in high school until now. Like, I think that is the biggest difference. And then obviously the opponents are just better. But other than that, yeah.
Are you talking mindset you grew the most?
Mindset and technique. I think I've just improved a lot. And I mean, I just guess I have like a better motor than I did in high school too. I mean, I've just been getting after it. So yeah.
I was going to say bonus points in every win this year. Obviously that's a goal when you want to win, but you want to score bonus points. How satisfied are you to the start of the season?
I'm pretty satisfied with the start of my season. I think I should be 4-0 right now. Made a mistake in the App State match. Mistakes happen, you learn from it, you grow, you move on. I think that's another thing that I've really improved on is that mindset. Like, losing isn't always the worst thing that can happen, especially that early in the season. Sometimes you just got to learn from it and then just put it in the back of your head and keep marching forward.
Mentioned that App State match, very close, obviously a move in the third. Do you go back and watch film on yourself to correct things, or do you know what you did and you just try to fix it in the mat room?
I go back and I watch film on myself, and sometimes the coaches watch it with me and we pick apart what I can do better. And yeah.
I was going to say, is it different? You're a lot of freestyle experience. Now you're focused out in college. Are you still trying freestyle moves or have you adapted?
I don't know. I mean, a lot of the times I do a mixture of both, I think. And that's just how my style kind of works. I like to attack legs, and sometimes I mix in upper body to just kind of get the guy reacting a little bit. So, yeah.
149 in the ACC. Obviously, you have the number one guy right now and a couple other ranked guys. You're coming up in the rankings. Do you have a knowledge of these guys that you're wrestling? Do you like to know, or do you like to just go out there and wrestle your style?
I like to go out there and wrestle my style. I mean, names and rankings are one thing, but I don't think they really matter. I think what matters is who goes out there and who's the better man that day and who's giving it their all and who wants it more. So, I mean, I'm going out there and I'm just not going to literally punch you in the face, but I'm going to punch you in the face with how hard I'm going. Like, it's going to be a shock to you that I'm going to go that pace the whole time.
Your dad, very vocal on Twitter a lot of times. How has he enjoyed this journey with you?
My dad is a really good man, and I think he's really into the sport. And I think that the journey that we have had together has been a really long one. And I think he's going to enjoy just being able to watch me grow as a wrestler these next 4-5 years. But he was my coach in high school. So just watching me go from like the youth level the whole way up to high school and then jump into that college level, that D1 level, I think he's really enjoyed it. And I miss him a lot. But yeah.
So here on out, every Friday night, NC State has an ACC opponent. What is the focus? What is the key for yourself to continue and get ready for the postseason here?
Just wrestle. Just go out there, wrestle, have fun, try to put up as many points as possible, score bonus. Don't worry about the big names, right? Like, just go out there and attack, get after it.
We started at 125 in every duel so far, but if they were to randomly pick, would you want to be first match, last match? Do you like being in the middle? What's your comfort zone there?
It doesn't matter. I just want to go out and wrestle. So you can put me first, you can put me last, you can put me right in the middle. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to wrestle the exact same.
I'll get you out. Last one, swear on this one. How have things been with COVID here at NC State? You're obviously kind of used to it now with all the testing, all the precautions, but do you think that has mentally helped you guys as a team this year?
I don't know if it has mentally helped us as a team, but I think that it has really kept us in a like kind of dedicated, like small, like group as a team. So I think we got really close as a team. And we've learned that like we need to just like focus in, and we have this amount of time that we have to be all in. And so like that's the mindset, is like we're all in for these next 2 months, right? And then we can go and just have a little bit more, be more open. But like right now we're in a team, we're just a team. That's it. Like we're focusing on that.
Ed, great catching up. Wolfpack fans, very excited. The fast start to your season, the fast start to NC State season. Appreciate you taking the time and catching us up with what's going on in your freshman season.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I want to thank everybody for listening today. This is your PackMentality Pop-Ins Podcast covering all things NC State wrestling. Until next time, Wolfpack wrestling fans, go Pack.
PackMentality Pop-Ins Podcast is produced by the Matt Talk Podcast Network. For more wrestling podcasts, go to MattTalkOnline.com.